So the next form we're going to cover is the boar rushes down the mountain, which is the one that Rand uses against the Shanshan Lord, I think, isn't it? He pushes them back down the hill. Yeah, it is. And it's described as like a series of blows raining down on him, and every single one is trying to be like a murder shot. So the way we figure that works is like it's fighting on a very high intention. So fighting on the first intention is just kind of like one chop and stop is what I'm gonna call it. So it's not very practical at all. And then fighting on the second intention is doing stuff like here, to put their guard there with the intention of striking their head. So the first thing you do is simply to aid you in the second thing you do, and same with the third and fourth intention. But you know, it's very rare to get people actually fighting on the fourth intention. That's too much thinking. So an example of what this might look like is a combo like this, or something like this, where in that situation you're throwing a downward strike, then flourishing with the lance in it, and cutting across their gut. But as with all of these videos, it's much easier for me to give you a practical example rather than shadow boxing. Now, my good friend Breakwaza is here. He's going to help me demonstrate this.
Breakwaza?
Yeah. It just rolls. So basically, as a practical example, here is how far fighting on the first intention will get you. Not very effective at all. Like at all. You'll never win. Unless they're real bad. But then you do fucking the low-hanging fruit, which is the fucking fruit. So here is fighting on the second intention. Right? Slightly more effective, but he was still able to block it. And then if you look at fighting on the third intention, which is where you should be at realistically to be a decent fighter, I think, would be something like first here, puts his guard there, flicking up here, and then coming down to where he's open. So very quickly, that would look like this, and you won the fight. And then if he does in his death want to get you, you know, you can just push him away because he's dead and you're the winner, which means you get all the food.
I'm dead.
See, he's
I'm
dead.
hungry.
And he's hungry. That's even worse. And now all the food he has is coming out of his stomach. So yes, we've defooded him efficiently, and that is the boar rushes down the mountain. See you in the next one. Hello again, we're on to our second form, which is kind of the same as the first form, but it's been named two different ways, and I'm definitely going to mix them up, so I'll fix it in the subtitles. But this is, what did we say, the boar charged downhill.
It's either down mountain or downhill.
The boar charged downhill.
Yes. I'll consult my Age of Legends advice.
Yes.
And rushed downhill.
The boar rushed downhill. So the last one we did was the boar charges down the mountain. If I didn't say that again, I'll correct it. Which was the third, fourth intention fighting. This one is much more militant and much more practical. This is you just want to get a guy dead. So if he's in his guard and you just do not have time to be faffing around, you use the boar charges. The boar rushes downhill. The boar rushes downhill. I fully understand what I'm doing. Probably mix these up. And what it is it's the first thing is if you charge at him, you get dead, right? And you don't want to get dead. That's not the point of this. That is the point of this. You got to move his guard out of the way. So what you do is you kind of sidestep, not a complete sidestep. This is very forward mounted, but you just take yourself a little out of the line of combat. So if you do fuck this up, you're at least going to glance to the side, kind of to the side of his sword, as opposed to Olafing right into it. And the second thing you do is not even Courtier Taps' fan, not even a block. You are just putting your sword in front of you as you charge and moving it to the side, opening you up for a lovely, lovely unaliving. Right, so what this would look like in practical terms is a lot less slow to begin with, but it's going to look like this. And you're in, and you've won, and you're on to the next guy like Dave Grohl. So yeah, the other way you can use it is almost defensively. If they're coming at you, same thing. You're just batting their sword aside and immediately moving into their distance and gutting them. So in that case, all I did was move the sword kind of in an arc over my head, which is a technique we haven't covered yet, but it's very similar to just doing a block and then carrying it through. So it's basically, if you ever do martial art, you're going to learn this. 1, 2, that's all that was. But instead, he's charging at you with the intent of gutting you. 1, 2, and he's gone. So that was the boar moving down the mountain.
Maybe rushing downhill. Who knows?
It might rush, it might charge. I don't know. Hello. So the next one is river undercuts the bank, which is one of the rare forms that has a very specific, like, this foot does this, this hand does this description. So this one was very easy for us to work out. The blade master drops to one knee, and delivers a horizontal strike that is risky if it doesn't have a proper setup. So this basically looks like that, and that's it. You're here, you drop to one knee, and you strike. And this one is quite handy for turning as well. So if you're fighting, you can turn into this strike. The big advantage of it is it drops your vital organs. So if somebody is trying to stab you, gut you, swing for your head or something, it just drops all your targets by one. So if you think they're trying to decapitate you, drop to one knee and they sail over you. We'll give you a practical example now. In the books, we get a good view of this being used in the duel between Rand and High Lord Turak. And basically what Rand does is he charges in with the boar, runs down the embankment, and finishes him off with river undercuts the bank. So we'll do exactly that one. So we've got, as we discussed in the previous video, we'll use the same use of the boar. So it's 1, 2, and in this case, instead of the third intention strike, well, it kind of is, but we'll go different, and we're going to do river undercuts the bank as a reaction. So a little faster. It's 1, 2, 3. The city of Falme has been saved. Is it Falme? Falme? Someone let us know. Anyway, that's river undercuts the bank.
So I think what's cool about this one is, like, if you're a sword master, you obviously know all the forms, and if you're fighting someone who's also a sword master, they know the forms. So obviously, I know what's coming next in boar rushes downhill,
yeah.
Which is why I'm like, oh cool. Well, I know where his head's going to be and what his next thing is. So I'm going to use this to try and like take him. But then it's nicely countered by undercutting my bank. A big bank.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. That's it. That's a real good point. You're playing on their assumptions.
Never assumed it.
Never assume. And that's a really good use of the third intention. You're putting them in a position where they think they know what's coming, and then you subvert their expectations, spill their guts all over them.